Hey, Natural Resources, welcome back. So in the last video segment, we learned about the importance of soils and kind of a general overview of what soils are. And now we're going to learn about soil horizons. Last week, we had a lot of content to cover. This week, it's a pretty short video segment, and you're going to be doing an interactive activity at home to supplement this. So if you have any questions on soil horizons, feel free to let me know. But I had to eliminate a couple of activities that normally we would be doing in class that are in-person interaction. So this presentation is actually going to go really, really quick today. So good thing, bad thing, whatever. You'll learn the content. It'll be good, and you'll have a fun little lab at home. So let's get started. First, I can explain the properties of the various soil horizons. Second, I can justify the importance of proper soil resource management. And third, I can outline the impact of erosion on the environment. And we'll spend a lot more time talking about erosion in a later video module, but these are our targets for the day. So, soil horizons. These are the different layers of soil, kind of like thinking about like from Shrek. We talked about Shrek a little bit in this class when he said ogres are like onions, they have layers. Soil is the same way. There are specific layers, and each layer has specific properties, okay? So a lot of people think that if the layers are called A, B, C, E, O, and R, that's the order they go in because that's alphabetical. That's not true. They go in a different order, and the letters don't really necessarily like stand for anything besides, I think, O and R. Personally, we'll talk about those. But at the very top, okay, we are going to have organic matter. Organic matter is basically what it sounds like, organic matter. So anything that composts, anything that poops out on the soil, anything that is organic and decomposes is organic matter. And organic matter is when we go out to our yards with a shovel, we're going to be getting basically all organic matter for the most part, okay? So this leads into the topsoil, and we'll get into some topsoil too when we go out there with the shovel, depending on how far we dig, because organic matter isn't super deep. But then we get into topsoil, and this is the surface mineral layer where organic matter accumulates. Beneath that, we have E, the zone of alluviation. This is depleted primarily in clay, chemicals, and organic matter. Tends to be a lighter color, and many soils do not necessarily have this horizon. You'll notice too, as we go down the different horizons, the soil is going to be getting lighter and lighter and lighter for the most part. That is in part due to chemical reactions that are occurring in the soil that we'll talk about a little bit later on when we get farther into the unit. It's also just in part due to just how the earth works. So kind of interesting. You may have also learned about this in earth science too, but it's a good review. Okay, so after we go through our organic matter, our topsoil, and our zone of alluviation, we go into our subsoil, or B. Sometimes this is called the zone of accumulation, and this is where chemicals are leached out of the A horizon and they accumulate, because remember, not all soils have the zone of eluviation, or E. Lower organic matter content in the topsoil. So as we go down the soil, we are going to be getting lighter in color. There's going to be less organic matter, and those two things are related very closely because organic matter is going to be darker in color. Okay. Then we go into layer C, or horizon C, and that's weathered or aged parent material. Parent material is the original source of where the soil came from. So here in Staples, Minnesota, a lot of our parent material sometimes can be traced back to melted glaciers or ice caps. Maybe not necessarily here, but farther north in Minnesota by Lake Superior, and even farther north than that into Canada. A lot of northern Minnesota and into Canada is the parent material is melted glacial till. Sometimes it can also be different forms of environmental events that have occurred. Those can be sources of parent material. We're not going to focus too much on parent material here in class as much, and then our bottom layer is our R layer, and that's hard bedrock, R for bedrock. This is usually limestone, sandstone, or granite. So we have our OAE, BCR, OAE, BCR. So we are going to stop there for now. I'll link to these brain breaks if you'd like to watch them. I think they're pretty good. And we'll see you back in the next clip to learn a little bit more about additions and losses and translocations, transformations.